I remember asking my dad, I wanted new basketball shoes because I was a basketball junkie back then. He's like, well, your shoes work. If you want a new pair of tennis shoes, you have to go out there and get a job. And I'm like, Dad, I'm 12 years old. And it just so happens he was playing poker with his buddies. And one of his buddies was like, well, I got a job for you. I'm like, okay. And it was when I was selling them and realizing that I liked to sell and that I could sell, and that I recognized that selling was about providing a service and creating value for people, that I knew that I would literally back then, I knew that I could always succeed. I remember I was 16, I think, when I started a stamp company and started going to stamp shows and trade shows and just working a little bit harder than other people and trading up from one stamp to the next. I remember one time I started with a quarter and bought a stamp and left with $50. Thinking, hey, if I could do this, I could do anything. And it's not that everything worked. I failed a lot, but I never ever felt like I wouldn't be able to work hard enough to succeed.
As being young and trying things, you're so naive and you don't know any better. All you do is learn. And if you fail, it doesn't matter. And so whether I was 9, 10, 12, 16, 21, the failures were irrelevant. And whether you're 9, 12, 16, 21, 22, 24, I'm sleeping on the couch. I have a car with a hole in the floorboard. I'm living like a bum and like a student. And so what did I have to lose? And so I think that influenced me as much as anything. So, my dad was like, go for it. Why not? What have you got to lose? You have to sleep on a different couch. So I think that was motivation.
I always did everything back-ass half-words. I like to challenge myself, and went to Mount Lebanon High School in Pittsburgh, and I wanted to take business classes my junior year. Only they didn't offer any business classes, and so I decided I'd take some college business classes. But University of Pittsburgh didn't offer any real business classes either. So I said, I'm going to challenge myself, and so I took a couple night classes at the University of Pittsburgh my junior year in high school. Did well in them and wasn't really challenged all that much at all. And so I just dropped out of high school, and instead of going back for my senior year, I went to the University of Pittsburgh and started taking classes there. My buddies were like, where'd you go? And it was just, I've always tried to challenge myself.
You just have to try different things, and even if 99% of them fail, you only have to be right one time. You don't have to figure it all out in advance. You can be wrong, you can pick the wrong career, you can pick the wrong job, you can pick the wrong spouse, you can pick the wrong whatever. But you get it right one time, you're set. But if you don't try, and if you don't go out there and try all those different things, you'll never get that one time. And so it's not a question of, okay, how much different stuff do I do, or how many different things should you try? Try them all. Try them all until you find the one you like. And then it's like, it gets really easy, because even when shit's up, you're on a mission. You're loving what you do, and then it gets easy. And so that's just the approach I've always tried to instill in people who work for me and myself.
I didn't have as many personal relationships as I probably would have liked. I put personal relationships aside. I had girlfriends where it was like me or your business, and I was like, what was your name again? I probably took things to an extreme, but yeah, I gave up on personal relationships in a big respect, because I really was on a mission. And once I realized I was going, so when I sold my first company, I bought a lifetime pass on American Airlines, and my goal was just to party with like a rock star in as many countries with as many people as I possibly could. Then I went back and got involved in the streaming business, and I remember sitting there and telling, we had probably 10 employees, and look, this streaming thing I think is going to be really big, and so we really have to focus, and there's going to be some sacrifices. And if you're willing to make those sacrifices, let's go. And if you're not, I understand, you make your own decisions. And I was willing to make those sacrifices, and it all turned out great in the long run, but during that time it wasn't always easy, and it wasn't always, it was tough sometimes.